Thank you, honorable members. The secretariat team, I'm Julius.
Honorable Chairman of the committee.
Thank you, Chairman. Sorry. With your leave, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Director, can you introduce the...
Yes, I'm Julius, Mr. James, Samba, Mustafa, they are all on the secretariat board. And Georgette. Walker, Georgiana Walker. Mr. Chairman, with your leave, I present to you the following presidential nominees for your consideration.
I'm sure you have the
Sir?
I'm sure you have the
The list I gave you.
Yes. So, Director, without wasting our time, you can do it the other way around. I will start with the front row and we go the back row. Yeah.
Yes.
We start with you, sir. You just stand up, you name the proposed ministry. All right. Honorable member. Honorable member. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Give the proposal.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Yusuf Ketes Masandi. I am the Deputy Minister of Information and Civic Education designate.
Is that the honorable member?
She's close to our chairman.
We don't see what. No.
Good morning, I'm Prince Alexander, a continuing nominee for the National Chairman, National Commission of Privatization, and with cabinet rank as an addendum.
So you have been twice.
There is one more most important. The national chairman of the
Yes, the national chairman of the most powerful party in West Africa, and the campaign chairman. Thank you.
Good morning, committee. My name is Phyllis Kapo. I'm the Deputy Minister of Lands.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Aja Isata Black Kamara, Deputy Minister of Marine Fisheries and Marine Resources designate.
Good morning, committee. Good morning, Chairman. I am Manti Tarawali. I am the Minister of State as the Vice President's Office designate.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, committee members. My name is Aja Salimatuba, and I'm the proposed Minister of Communication, Technology and Innovation.
Good morning, committee. I'm Patrick Makesi, proposed Deputy Minister of Youth Affairs.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend Jonathan Titus Williams, proposed Deputy Minister of Planning and Economic Development.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sergey Tiro, proposed Deputy Energy Minister.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, members of the committee. Good morning, colleagues. I am Emily Dogra, proposed Minister, Deputy Minister, one of the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the committee. I'm Ambassador Honorary Sheikh Mohammed Soa, proposed Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations.
Good morning, honorable members. My name is Lansana Mohammed Dumbuya, proposed Deputy Minister of Employment, Labour and Social Security. Good morning.
Good morning, all. I am Colonel Retired Moana Brian Masakoi, proposed Deputy Minister of Defense.
Mr. Chairman and committee members, good morning. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Alfred Mori Jamiro, Deputy Minister, Local Government and Community Affairs Designate.
Good morning, honorable members of Parliament. My name is Christiana Queen Fofana, proposed Deputy Minister of Works and Public Assets.
Good morning. My name is Khadija Grace Ahini Kamara. I am the proposed Deputy Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, committee. Good morning, everybody. My name is Sir Emo, proposed Deputy Minister to Agriculture and Food Security.
Good morning, esteemed committee. My name is Ambassador Ernest Weber Dumaina. I'm the proposed Commissioner for that. Thank you. Good morning, Chairman and committee. Wakai Bide Noah, proposed Deputy Minister of Gender and Children's Affairs. Good morning, Chairman and committee members. My name is Ibrahim Sano, the Deputy Minister of Communication, Technology and Innovation Designate.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, committee members. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Jalika Mustafa, Deputy Minister of Health 2 Designate.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I am Fatima Tawui, Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, proposed.
Good morning. Kai Lawrence Bayo Nominees, proposed Deputy Minister of Sport.
Good morning. I am Dr. Teresa Temendi, proposed Deputy Minister of Minister of Agriculture and Food Security.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, the nominees.
Thank you. We have heard the introductions. We are all welcome, and we are going to join you to apologize for starting this on behalf of my staff. We are not here on time, so I apologize on their behalf, which he has done already. But those who came, some of you came the last session when I addressed the nominees. First, if you think you don't have a sitting place, don't stand. The only people allowed to stand, security personnel should be outside, please. I want to see all security personnel outside. There is sergeant at arms, not the ones, not you are coming somewhere, not you. Sergeant at arms, let me use the parliamentary language. All sergeant at arms who are inside, you should be outside. And if you are a journalist, you have taken a photograph linked to the wall. Yeah, fine. We agreed the last time that we need to repeat keep the interview on time. Anytime we come, we have to repeat ourselves. Members of the fourth estate, are you here? Only one for the parliamentary staff. The parliamentary staff, I'm talking about those outside parliament. Yeah. I want to welcome you, and this hearing is a public hearing. But let me just admonish once more, referring you to the standing orders, SQ 75, for premature publication, which you cannot do. If you have difficulty in making the issues clear with the clerk's office, you can get to my office, we can discuss about it. And if any publication outside our domain and we are not aware of it, you can just invoke SO75, which I hope you will not do, because we have started this our third interview now. Yeah, you have complied with that provision. Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you for the publications you are doing on behalf of Parliament. It has been positive, carrying the real story of what we are looking for. The other aspect is to talk about nominees. The nominees have said it over and over, but let me repeat myself for the sake of those who are not around. First, we talked to the substantive ministers, which we have approved yesterday. We discussed with the chief minister today. They are not taking notes and they are not be approved by Parliament. And we have asked for proper collaboration. Yes, we all appointed at the same time, and luckily we have a minister here with us. But you have based on constitutional provision and also by administrative hierarchy. And some of you are serving that capacity as minister, we have one in front of us. And now some are ranked as cabinet ministers. So in the fifth parliament, we had difficulties in trying to have a clear dichotomy between how you can handle your deputy minister as a minister. In some ministries, it was working very well, and some indeed. Those who are seasoned politicians and administrators, we are fully aware of the collaboration. What we have decided to do, we started the very first day we started this interview, is to make sure we have the proper synergy between the minister and the deputy minister. So what we did first is to talk about the provision in the Constitution, Section 62. And we have the senior minister with us, two ministers here. The Minister of State, which one? What is the cabinet rank? You know, are you the cabinet minister?
It's cabinet rank, sir.
There's a cabinet rank.
Yes.
Don't worry. You're on record for passing the GB Act. We'll come to that. But I guess you have a constitution. I want you to read for me Section 62 of the Constitution.
Section 62, Administration of Ministries. Where any minister has been charged with the responsibility for any department of government, he shall exercise general direction and control over that department. And subject to such direction and control, the department shall be under the supervision of a permanent secretary, whose office shall be a public office, provided that two or more departments of government may be placed under the supervision of one permanent secretary.
Thank you very much. So in two cases we have in provision. One, direct supervision, two, the permanent secretaries. If I agree with you that even you with the permanent secretaries, which have happened in the last administration, we are still having problems we have transferred to other ministries. So the minister is actually charged with responsibility of having this general supervision. We have seen a situation in this parliament, and we have said we have tried to bring them together on several occasions. So we want to start it from the one. We don't want to miss it, because if you look at our own appointment and public service. So what we want you to understand is that first is the minister that is really supervised minister for the ministry, and the permanent secretary is the administrative head. So for you as a permanent secretary, you have to make sure you serve the two ministers, whether it's deputy minister or minister and deputy ministers. So we have agreed that after this whole process of interview, there will be a time when we interface with permanent secretaries. So some permanent secretaries are coming here so that they can pay attention to what we are saying. They are coming in by the grace of God, you can be approved. And you can remember my statement here. And you can take your constitution and make reference to that. So we are fully aware of what you are going on. So we want to start from the one that this is a position, it's enshrined in the constitution. There's nowhere you can see the permanent secretary is senior than the minister, even the deputy ministers. We have seen situations where permanent secretaries are not paying attention to the minister. Also, the minister is the minister. He's just an administrator. whether he's the deputy or not, but the fact that they are ministers. So that is carried. And so what we did there, which you're not supposed to do, but let me just for the sake of interaction and you can have a better working environment. On oath, the chief minister designate said, I will take a proposal to the cabinet to ensure that we have a clear line of responsibilities for ministers and deputy ministers. So we are yearning together today. But I have reminded them that in Standing Orders 19, that has to do questions to ministers. We'll bring him on board, we'll bring him to the chamber, or put questions to him. In fact, he's familiar in answering questions in the chamber. They did it in the fifth parliament. So he knows what is the details and how to go about it, and what really is our interest. So we are all doing this, so you have proper coordination and collaboration when you get to the ministry, if approved. So also those who are ranked, you know they are very well. Sometimes MDs who are really seasoned in doing their job, they have not had any problems of nature. But it really has to do with between ministers and deputy ministers. In between, you have the permanent secretaries. They behave as if they are civil servants. Really are civil servants. So I know for Ministry of Defense, luckily we have their permanent secretary, who's the Director General. That is the nomenclature given to him. So we're happy to have you. But it's nice for us to give some of these clarifications. I heard that some of you are saying, oh, you're not supposed to be here. That's what he said. And this is a new election. This is a new election. And Mr. Clark, for the benefit or edification of those who are not here on that day, can you read section 68, just the first one, A, I think. Can you go read that one for us?
Section 58, 1. The office of a minister or a deputy minister shall become vacant, A, on the expiration of the term of office of the president.
Thank you. The others there, you have 55, a lot of others. This one is very specific. So we're talking about the minister, as long as you have the president elected for a new term, consider that all those offices will have to be vacant, except by the executive authority of the president. For those who are serving MDs, but still there is a provision also in the Constitution which talks about inconsistency in the provision in the Constitution. We have section 171, section 15. If there is any law that is variance with the wrong law, which is the Constitution, that law is not employed. But sometimes we can show understanding because the president is a member of parliament. So where it's very clear in the act for maybe MDs, we have to make sure we show some understanding. But it's good for you to understand the provisions in the Constitution. And then lastly, I said about questions to ministers. You have a responsibility because we want to demystify what you are thinking about parliament. That we are not wanting anybody. It's clear in our standing orders that you can ask questions to ministers, be it the substantive minister or the deputy. But we have decided we have been very slow on that. So when we started the business with ministers, we said, well, business is not business as usual. It's not a statement to go after anybody. It's just a statement to ensure that President Bio achieves all his dreams, talking about the 5 goals, talking about what we want to do as Sierraleoneans. So we seek to introduce ourselves as members of parliament, not for any specific political party, but to make sure that we do the right thing for Sierra Leone. So today, instead of you, as usual, we are not going after you to ask any embarrassing question. In fact, we are not even thinking of embarrassing anybody. That's why you have your forms with you, and we have the forms also. So we go through the forms and we ask you questions pertaining to your job responsibilities. But you are also compelled to ask these questions. So if you are rehearsed, you have been going out rehearsing in somewhere, you are not compelled to really ask to answer the questions. We also have our judgment, whether to present you to the plenary or whether you fit for purpose. We can say, okay, we have agreed in principle that some of these forms are difficult, some do not understand how to go about it. So we can refer you to go and do the needful before we can present it to the plenary. For those who approved yesterday, they did They leave it. And it's not any way to embarrass anybody. In fact, we should protect you. But this is a job that has to be with state. That's why it's a public hearing. So we have members of the that's why we have put them under control. That you cannot just publish. You have to make sure you listen to us and you take instructions. We are not most in the press. In fact, we are on record for making press freedom. And it's a very high standard. Members of Parliament feedback. So I want to welcome you again. And be relaxed, feel free. And you should not sit at the dungeon. Go upstairs where you have the members' lounge. Feel free, sit there, interact. The club will serve you water if you need water. That's what we can do as members of Parliament. I once again to appreciate you for your understanding and also feel free to relax. So when you come to us, be rest assured I'm the chairman. You are direct under my protection. My colleagues maybe would like to ask questions. Because you have questions from the public. You cannot throw them away because you are people's representative. So I allow them to ask questions. And also you can see the questions is not in line with what you are supposed to know what to do. I will overrule them in the most respectable manner. So I thank you very much for coming. And I once again register our apologies for starting very late. We start with Dr. Alex Presadi and the rest of you. But before you leave, before you come and take your seat, for everything that we are, we decided for this session we are not going to recognize people because we don't know there are so many people we need to recognize. But this one, we are going to single out somebody. The Chief of Defense Staff. Can you please stand up, sir? Thank you. You're most welcome. And the 20 Chief of Defense Staff. Can you stand up, please? Thank you very much. And we can do have any permanent sector Director General in the hall. That's the most fun. So we have you standing. Right. Thank you, Director General for Defense. Thank you very much. And the rest, with the exception of the chairman proposed of NCP National Commission of Representation Parliamentary, you take the seats and the rest wait for us at the members now. Let's give them some few minutes to reorganize the hall.
Ambulem we still in a parliament as
Can you do fast, please? If you have to stay, please resume your seat, please.
Supporters, you stay. Only leave the nominees.
No, Mr. Director, you cannot force them. You cannot force them to stay. If they want to stay, they can stay. The others are sitting. You have to stay.
take it your block.
You know the thing.
All right. Thank you very much. Can we, if you hear anyone, please take your seats now. We have with us the proposed chairman and the cabinet rank, Dr. Prince Alexani, for commission. Mr. Clark, can we have some orderly name, please? Tell my member to talk to me. Not about it. You also have is the chief whip. Yeah. The chairman, the cabinet rank, National Commission for Privatization. You are welcome, sir. Thank you for coming. We anticipate your approval. Thank you. If you have taken your photograph, take the back seat. But you go people. And you administer the oath, sir.
Could you please rise? You are Christian or Christian? Say after me. I,
Dr. Prince Alexani,
do solemnly swear
that
the evidence I shall give
as the evidence that I shall give
before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Oh, God. Thank you very much.
Are you done with the photograph? The chairman, you know you are aware of all the anti-corruption rules, what you have decided to put just in the form of people to understand. You didn't canvass anybody. No, you did not canvass. So it's right. It's yeah. It's a canvass of members of the committee is strictly prohibited. Of course, we don't want to ask people to sit and question. You know all of us. Back of the position. Yes. And someone was discussion or overtake it. So just ask, do you have anything new here? Continue in the same position if I do. Do you have anything new to tell us? Or do you want to give us edification on your institution? You are heading.
Well, if you want to give me the privilege, I'll just give
yes, we have. Then I just a mic for him a bit so that maybe something new.
Well, I just give it a concise presentation. The National Privatization Commission came to being through the act enacted by the very House in 2000 with sole purpose of supervising the state-owned enterprises to ensure are managed well and efficiently to deliver on the mandate, which includes but not limited to delivering of service efficiently, making them profitable, and to ensure that they make money for government to help to reduce poverty, especially in urban areas, and above all to create employment.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So are you anticipating this next dispensation, other administration, any transformation?
Well, every good thing has got an avenue of improvement in the human aspect of activity. We have done well in terms of creating jobs. These last 3 years, we created above more than 500 jobs, and we are able to contribute to the coffers, which was unusual. Last year, it was 144 billion. The year before that, by the third largest contributor to the cover. So we want to ensure that this time round will increase the revenue base and to look through proper fiscal management and administrative management to ensure they become more efficient on a timely basis. In that regard, we are planning to, well, going through just a policy which has been tabled the governance of state enterprises, which has been approved. So we are going to have a new act which will be able to implement the details of that policy. But the overall aim is to increase efficiency and better management.
Thank you very much for your brief explanation and throwing light on some of the things that you what you did last time. These are some of the transformations that we have to hear, and also your contribution in the sector. More jobs of people. What kind of transformation? Legitimate transformation, not just by making a piece of policies, but that's one that has to do with Parliament. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for coming here. Thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, where are our forms? Your forms. The Deputy Minister of Defense. Deputy Minister of Defense, please.
Yeah, Fambulem, we have now the Deputy Minister of Defense.
Before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, So help me God. Thank you. Please sit.
What is your name?
Moana Brahma Masako.
Where are you here?
I'm here to face the appointment committee, Parliamentary Appointment Committee for an interview.
Yeah, Minister.
Deputy Minister of Defense.
You are
designate.
Do you have your phone?
Yes, sir.
Take out your phone. Anyway, how have you been carrying to generals?
There has been a very wonderful and very good working relationship.
Are you sure?
100% sure.
Yeah, but it's on right. Yeah. You came with them so they can scare us in their cause.
Not really.
You came with the Director General also. You see,
they are there to support me.
These people know how to sit. We find a question that you run. I'm very proud.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So we want first to respect to you and the team. Yes, the security is paramount. So I'm giving you that respect because of what you are doing. But quick one.
Yes.
Can you read the text to you of photograph? The text to you of photograph. Can you read that text for me, please?
Canvassing of members of the committee is strictly forbidden.
Do you canvass anybody else, please?
Not really.
But you use the generals to come around to canvass.
Well, they are the only people that can support me. Otherwise, because I belong to this constituency.
So you are suspending the fact that they came around that call us to intimidate members of Parliament to canvass. Yes.
Father forbid.
We have it on camera.
Well,
oh yes.
This is working hours, and they cannot wear any other attire besides their uniform.
Where the priority around?
Protecting us.
Are they on duty?
They're on duty.
Anyway, there is some inconsistency with bank statements. I'm not asking you to read. That is purely private. Just take it out. You got the first one that has to do with Sioran Commercial Bank.
Yes.
But the second one that has to do with United Bank of Africa is inconsistent. Just check. No, don't look at me. Don't look at your phone. I think corruption is never. They are going to be here today. They are doing out a statement about asset declaration. If you look at this form, you see parliamentary vetting of presidential nominations, declaration of assets, right?
Yes.
So take notes. For posterity. So if you look at the EBA, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's not the same.
It's not the same with
UBA, the one that you're raising.
you mean the balance?
Yes, the balance. You have not seen it.
Closing balance, I've seen that one.
Okay. It's starting it one, the other one at the middle is 3.
Well, actually, to be candid, the day before I received this balance, I think I had to withdraw some money, and that's why it didn't reflect.
No, sir. You cannot imagine if because you have withdrawn some money, so you can just come to say, okay, the fact for things we are looking for is the one that you have in the bank statement. Is what you need to transpose into your statement or your form. Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
So you have to do that.
This is 101.
No, call it. Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
So you agree to do correction?
I do agree.
Otherwise, you cannot present to the plenary. Yeah. Okay, cool. Quick one. Oh, you do the form again. You said this cash attack. 50 watts. You wrote to us 50,000 names only. But in what you are rating is not 50,000 names. 50. So there is inconsistency. I know sometimes why we have a 50 hold on, sir. Why watch your tower? Don't the reason why we have decided normally you don't do it. You stand it down, you go and believe, maybe talk to you. But the reason why we have agreed in line with all of us, sometimes when you are trying to complete the form, you are not on a normal temperature. True. Us.
So true.
So after the interview, we now ask you courageously to go and sit down and do the actual corrections. Because this one is going to your records, and this is the second time coming to us. Yeah?
Sure.
Okay. So it's 50 watts.
It's 50,000.
In old.
And new.
Yeah? 50,000
old, 50,000 old.
Okay. Are you still comfortable with particulars of all properties? Are you comfortable with that one?
Yes.
No change.
No.
Colleagues, we have a post minister for defense deputy executive. Any question?
Minister of Defense. President.
Sorry, sir. Just see the Deputy Speaker in the room. I want to welcome our Deputy Speaker, Honorable Senator Paul Thomas from Bond District. Welcome. Continue, sir.
Mr. Masahod. Yes. Particulars of properties. Look at your documents. Look at question 17. 7. Question 17. 1 7. Yes. You were asked by the leader if you are satisfied with 17. Are you satisfied by the presentation? You look on the first page and the second page of the exam. Look at 18 page. Yes, 17, the next page. The presentation. Yes. Number 1, Emmanuel Camara, Benjamin Street. What's that? That's the address. No, if you look at the 17 on the next page. Yes, it's the same. And the questions were very clear. They were very, very clear. We asked description of property, date of purchase, the value, the tenants, the amount, and when you go to the next page, is that the way it was answered? On the next page.
Actually, the next page, there was no provision here on this.
No, it was a continuation of the first provision.
Yes, continuation. So that's the address for the first property.
That was not how the question was answered.
Date of purchase.
That was not how the questions were asked. If you look on the 17, yes, we are clear. The questions were asked for also easily read. That's 17.
Yes, 17.
You just gave us, we gave you different columns. Different columns. And look at the next page. Who is the tenant of number 1 Emmanuel Camara Avenue, Freetown? Who is the tenant? And what's the value of that property?
Well, if you look at on the second page, where the series, is that the one you're talking about?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And if you look at the first page, we gave you Pakolo.
Yes.
We gave you Pakolo.
Name of tenants is there, Brima Masakoi, on the first page.
Yes. And now you gave us another address, which is number 1. You gave us 3 bedrooms.
Yes. The two properties are on the same land, the same address.
No, this is not properly done, sir. You correct it with our class before your presentation to the web. Please do the needful with the class immediately after here, so that you do the necessary corrections. We are deliberate when we ask questions, sir. Mr. Deputy Minister, yes. A Deputy Minister and a Member of Parliament who is more senior.
It's a catch question, actually. It's difficult for me to answer because I don't know where to draw the line. But as far as I'm concerned, honorary members are the ones that are responsible to legislate law. And at the end of the day, the deputy ministers come in front of them for approval.
So you, a deputy minister and a member, an elected member of Parliament,
It's a bit tricky for me.
Member of Parliament is far senior than the deputy
minister. Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Minister. My first suggestion to you is that please make sure you keep this post, just in case you have to fill another form next year. Maybe you might be promoted and you need to informed so we not make a mistake. But honestly, mine is not the question, even though I will have a question at the end of it. I want to say a very big thank you to you because under your supervision as Deputy Minister of Defense, we are seeing a different military in Sierra Leone. Through your CDS and your other staff they are working with, you are very professional in these elections and they have been very professional. We want to, on behalf of Parliament, to say thank you for that, for keeping our security safe. Because one thing I always say is there is no amount of money you can pay the security forces in this country. Because whereas we are sleeping, they are there guiding us, protecting us, making sure that we live in a safe community. So I want to say thank you for that. And you have been very professional for the last 2-3 years. But my question is, where do you see our military in the next 5 years?
Well, to start with, I am speaking in line with my commander's vision. That is the Minister of Defense, who is now the President of this country and Commander-in-Chief. We want to see...
Any other question? Honorable members? Yeah,
Congratulations in advance, Mr. Deputy Minister.
Thank you, sir.
I want to use this opportunity to firstly thank you and your astute generals, Major General Alpha Delmona Jones and Lieutenant General Lamau, because their role in maintaining and keeping the peace during the turbulent times, especially during the elections, was very prominent. My question has been the same, and I'm going to ask the same thing. The proprietor of the school I attended services the military. Today, in the last 2 years, we've asked the military to support us with personnel to improve discipline in the school. But unfortunately, we have witnessed a breakdown of law and order in the school. To the extent that I know I have a situation, service is secondary school. The army is the proprietor. The Ministry of Defense is they own the school.
You know, the Ministry of Education is not really.
No, the Ministry of Defense, they own the school.
100%.
100%.
So all the teachers are ministry.
Well, supposedly the teacher is supposed to be.
No, it's just like
the teacher is supposed to be military personnel, even in civil uniform. They are supposed to be captain.
All of them.
They are supposed to.
I don't know, I know you are coming from that. Yes, I'm coming.
No, I want to ask for his protection.
All right, go ahead.
So that he can continue under the leadership of the two astute generals. Attention can be paid to services secondary school because whatever happens to services affects the image, prestige, and integrity of the army. And what is currently happening at services, there is a matter before the generals, and I know they are going to handle it appropriately. But I want to use this channel to call on your office and the office of the generals to look at services, because if services fail, the army has failed.
Take notes.
Yes.
Noted.
Please.
Noted.
And I will advise you when once the minister takes office, please approach him so you resolve that issue.
Yeah, no,
I know the minister will be very professional in conjunction with the able generals.
Yeah, it's just sorry, deputy. Just something, you know, education, you raise up something. It's on. Education is paramount. It's the only weapon we have. We are going to use now to transform our nation, be it military or otherwise. Are you pleased to answer a question that has to do with the school in terms of the capacity or teaching sector, or what is really any capacity to answer any of these questions?
With reference to this?
Yeah, especially school.
Well, I have already noted that. I think I will discuss issues with my senior management and the Minister of Defense. And if there's need for us to collaborate with the Minister of Education, we will take that up.
For now, in fact, you don't even know your death responsibility. No, under different circumstances. This one is the president now, right?
Indeed.
Of course. Well,
yes. But to allay his fears, we have advanced so much so that
we have decided to be very gender insensitive.
Yes, sir.
That is what I'm telling you today. I've given you a lot of platforms. Oh, you need this?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
No, I said.
No, it's not. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Of course, I'm Honorable Kamara from Komo. Please, I want to thank you, your ministry, for raising the banner high for women. Now we are seeing a lot of military women. And I remember we visited there with our president, our caucus president. We visited the office and we held a meeting with female military personnel. We know they came out with a lot of other issues, but we want to say kudos to you for abiding to the UN Women, Peace and Security provision to recruit more women in the military. And I think they are doing well in their different areas of posting. But we still want you to look into their issues and see which other facilities you might want to support them with in terms of capacity and other things. And that brings me to another thing that has to do with the African Center for Strategic Studies, ACSS. I am also a member and an alumni. We are trying to see how we bring together the alumni, and most of you are beneficiaries. And that thing is very, very good for Africa, including Sierra Leone, in terms of peace in the sub-region. And if we are able to build on it, because other countries are now ongoing, building their relationship in the different communities. To tell you more, and the last one is that in Kono, the 9th Battalion, they are very civilian friendly and they are doing a lot of activities which are bringing them closer to the civilians. So I want you to be.
Oh, Chief? Yeah. Colleague, I don't want to cut you off. The generosity they have, a meeting that you want to attend in the next 20 minutes. I think you want the minister to be there as an observer, the proposed minister. Because they are going there, because they are not be approved. So if we can make our intervention very short in the next 5 minutes, we appreciate it.
I protected Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead.
Honorable retired Masakroy, as a traditional leader, paramount chief for that matter, I'm always concerned when it comes to security matters. I remember in 1991, before the outbreak of the war, Charles Taylor, former president of Liberia, made a statement that Sierra Leone will taste the bitterness of war. And at that time, the government at that time did not take that statement seriously until at the end of the day, war broke out in Sierra Leone. Over the past month or so, there have been a series of security threats in this country. Series of security threats, I'm sure you are aware of. And to me, it seems there is a proliferation of
arms and ammunition in this country. There has been discovery of that on several occasions. That is a security threat. How prepared are you to ensure that that kind of situation is put under control? That's my first question. Secondly, in terms of recruitment into the military, we now see people are recruited into the army either through connectocracy and the like. But I want to believe, as traditional leaders, we know our people better than any other person. They are all our subjects. I want to suggest, Colonel Masako, that in terms of recruitment, please endeavor to be consulting traditional leaders, although recruitment is based on qualification. I am not disputing that. But please make sure you consult us, traditional leaders, particularly, because I remember there are certain people in the security sector, not only military, the police as well. They recruit people, you can excuse me, but this is something I have found out. People who have bad track records. Bad track record.
Paramount Chief, sir.
So please, I want to suggest that you consult traditional leaders whenever
point of order, sir.
Military.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
No, just are you talking about the police?
No, the military.
Well, I have the police, so I don't want you to confuse.
I'm talking about the military.
Okay, all right. All right, okay. Are you done?
Yes, I'm
okay. Thank you.
So over to you, Mr.
Okay, we are ready to see. Yes, go ahead. Just quickly. But it's a Paramount Chief. You have to say one or two words.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. For the issue of preparedness, I wouldn't really want to address that here. But I want to assure you that we have a security architecture in this country, which is the Office of the National Security, which deals with all security issues. We are, the military is there to support the police that are responsible for internal security. But we assure you that we have our operatives, intelligent operatives all over the country.
Thank you.
Border patrols.
Thank you. You have.
Yes. Secondly, on the issue of the recruitment, we have a policy on recruitment, the national policy, defense policy on recruitment. We don't do it as business as usual. Now we do national recruitment wherein we involve each and every region. We do it at regional level.
And you have a very unique system of recruitment.
Exactly.
So take note.
So be rest assured that when it comes to recruitment, the paramount chiefs are always informed. And if you have not been informed, this time you will be informed. Thank you.
So you know the last time you did the recruitment and you were very strict when you wanted to recruit for professionals. We are very strict on those who are going to do agricultural mechanics, etc.
Yeah, those specialists.
You have a really format as you use. I've experienced it, so that's what I'm saying. So all these things, and you have it documented in the military. The paper of recruitment is documented.
It is.
So you just need to match that one with give it out. Give it out.
Yes, sir.
Right. So thank you. I don't know my colleague. Yes. We have only 5 minutes now.
Thank you very much. Mine is just to congratulate you in advance if approved and remind you of our 30% of the recruitment for women. And we just don't want, yes, because we say women, you want women, will give you, but we want positions of trust. Because if you give the woman behind any successful colonel or whoever, there must be a strong woman. So I'm appealing that don't forget our women. We'll visit you as time goes on. Let us see whether we have adhered on the call of His Excellency
for our 30%. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The military is a professional league. Don't rush into 30%, do it gradually. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just address the issue of position of responsibility. Honorable Member.
You are certainly fighting the champion of the 30%.
Mr. Minister, please do it gradually so that we have the best armed force.
Alright, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to address the issue of women being put into a position of trust. I mean, we've started that long since. In fact, it's a gradual process.
Is this in the United States?
Alright, thank you.
No, here.
Alright. Finally, you've heard about from the presidential statement in 2021. President did say we're going to look into the condition service of the military. That is a TACOS, right?
TACOS, standard conditions.
And that is a TACOS. Take note of that. Thank you very much for coming. We hope this is your baby. The reason why I said because you're a retired colonel and you're not in that senior position in governance where you can help your colleagues. Yeah, thank you very much for coming. We hope and pray that you can, under the supervision of His Excellency the President, we can do more. Can leave us at the moment. So for the corrections, you have to count and avoid. Yeah, just take your time to go over. So we have the Anti-Corruption Commissioner.
Thank you.
Nobody problem. Who sign and make another woman? That is over 200 years. No, that is over 200 years. It is 198 years before they make 100. You are asking for too much. British
Follow the Minister of Communication.
If I are running the future for, you don't feel that
No, if the SEC no, they will call this minister of
all of them. Leader.
No, Jaluka to put up the color. That's all not the minister.
Okay, documents.
Check no, man, check.
A document with you. Sorry. I know. I'm not going for that. I beg for idea.
He's a relative. He's a leader.
Yes.
Photographers. Madam.
Would you please rise? Say after me, please.
I, Auntie Beatrice Karwani,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence that I shall give
before this committee
before this committee
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Please.
Madam. What are you here for?
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Member of Parliament. I am here to be interviewed as His Excellency the President has nominated me for the position of Minister of State and the Vice President office.
You have a form.
My form?
Yes.
Yes, I do. Which one of the forms? Sorry?
The questionnaire that was sent.
Okay, there's a declaration of assets. Yes, I do.
Do you want to read the sentence in your photograph?
Canvassing of members of the committee is strictly forbidden.
Did you do such?
No, I did not.
You did not any member of this committee?
I know all of you.
Did you canvass any member of this committee?
No, I did not.
Madam, what new are you going to take to the office of the Vice President?
Say that again, please.
What new are you going to take to the office of the Vice President?
What new am I taking to them? Okay, to start off, I really want to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to continue to serve my country. I think it is an honor and a privilege, and it's one that I don't take lightly. With the experience that I have of over 25 years as a program expert and the 4 years as a cabinet minister, there's a lot of experience that I've gathered that I will take to the office of the Vice President. In conversation with the first Vice President himself, the office role is to support the Vice President to enable him to achieve the mandate of the President. So my support to him.
Take your questionnaire and let's go to 17. Question 17.
Yes, sir.
You have highlighted property when you go to the column of name of tenants. What is NA?
Not applicants.
All of these properties, are you sure? You are under oath.
I am on the oath, and all of them are empty at the moment because I need to do some work on them.
Including the 9 South Drive of Aladina.
Absolutely empty. It is currently now empty.
It is currently now.
Absolutely. Have you visited there?
I know that. I want to congratulate you for passing the QA. I know you didn't shoot the problem. And they are saying I should have this new QA. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
They ask you to be general answer. You want to be everything.
We have now the Commissioner for Anti-Corruption.
I was on standby, sir. We are in the office. How can we be on standby in the office? The clerk of parliament asked me to wait in the office. That's what he said. No, you should leave it to the principal. I apologize. I apologize. Administer.
Please rise. Christian or Muslim?
Christian Catholic.
Please take the Bible. Say after me. I,
Francis Ben Kaipala,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that the evidence I shall give
the evidence I shall give
before this committee
before this committee
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Please.
Mr. Francis Ben Kaipala. Do you have the questionnaire that was sent to you? The questionnaire. And how do you get those contacts? Thank you. Was this questionnaire filled by you, sir? I did. Are you sure? Very well. Thank you. You are under oath. I am. Okay. We asked for a photograph of you, sir. On that questionnaire, we asked for a photograph of you. Yes, I did. And there is none. I can make that. And can you read the sentence below where your photograph was put in? Canvassing of members of the committee is strictly forbidden. Did you canvass any member of this committee? No, I did not. Are you sure? 100% sure. Do you know any member of this committee? I know everybody on the committee, but I did not canvass a single one of them. You are appointed as the corruption commissioner, as the commissioner. Let's go to questionnaire 1. Yes. Questionnaire 1 is hard to understand. Did you fill this questionnaire yourself, sir? I did. Question 1 is hard to understand. Our questions, we are very specific. We are specific, sir. Look at question 1. This is the one on the question 1, yes. Accounts with bank specific branch type of account and balance. This is just what you gave us. Is it the same account that all of these? Yeah, there are two. There's a current and there's a domiciliary. Yes, you can give us the account number. So how do you make reference to those accounts? Well, you gave us 3 figures. If you have a name, the 3 figures are the current, the domiciliary, which is the foreign account, and then the cash account. Okay, the third one is the cash account. Yes. Is it the third one is the answer question 2?
Yes, it's answering first question.
Okay, the first and second is answering question one.
Yes.
Is this the first one? Is it new notes or old notes?
The first one is new.
It's new notes.
Yes.
What's the account number?
I can provide.
We are keeping this for records purposes, and we want to know what you are declaring to us. So you will not declare to the Anti-Corruption Commission.
No problem. Well, accounts change. So by the time I declare the Anti-Corruption Commission, may increase or decrease.
Yes, the Anti-Corruption Commission was created by an act of Parliament.
Very correct.
So what you give us should not be too different from what you present to the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So you have this amount of money and you still have it.
Not in hand as absolutely down here, but I normally keep that in case of emergency.
That's what you keep for emergencies.
Yes.
What does the law say about handling this amount of cash?
I know that the law does not set a limit on what you can handle.
For sure.
Yes.
This is too much.
It is not illegal.
This one?
No, it's not.
You've not answered question 3, you've not answered question 6, 7, 8. What is this?
If it's not answered, it means there is no bills receivable, promise you know, means that.
So tell us the you don't have.
Okay, so I just put a little dash.
No, just tell us you don't have. This dash can be missed out.
Okay.
This not available. You don't can be misinterpreted.
Okay.
And if you look at question 10, are you seeing you look at question 10? Question 10.
Yes.
You don't have any of them.
I've given away all my personal accounts.
That commissioner, you are under oath.
I am 100% on the oath. I don't have a personal account.
You are under oath. And they are recorded.
Yes.
You don't have a card on your own.
I don't have any. I have given away. They were getting old. I used to have them 2012, 13, 14. I have been commissioner for 5 years. I plan to get a new car, so I gave them away sometimes.
So as of today, you don't have a card.
I don't have a personal account. I actually gave them away.
This should be recorded, sir. Mr. Clark, are you okay? Thank you. Mr. Commissioner, can you tell the committee for the last 5 years you've been serving this commission the major challenges in fighting corruption this year?
Thank you very much. Firstly, I must appreciate the government and all the actors, including Parliament, for your contribution and support to the fight against corruption. As we all know, fighting corruption is a tedious task, and it requires a lot of things to work together for it to happen. The principal among them is the availability, for example, of sufficient resources. The corrupt have a lot of money. They can hire the best lawyers. They can have the best facilities. They have systems to hide their money. It takes a lot of money to go after. So one of the challenges we have had in the fight against corruption is really that the resources that we would want to be able to sufficiently tackle corruption across the country, some of them were in short supply, particularly when it comes to capital resources. The government has been very challenged in providing us capital resources. The entire Anti-Corruption Commission has just about 7 functioning cars in a pool. And all these cars, the other cars, some of them are probably 10 to 15 to 20 years old, 15 years old. So, for example, we have a lot of high maintenance costs and things like that. So, resources was one challenge. The other challenge we have is manpower. In a country like this where the corruption culture is highly entrenched,
the corruption culture is heavily entrenched. It takes a lot to fight corruption. And the Anti-Corruption Commission is one of the commissions that has some of the widest powers or widest mandate to tackle corruption at all levels in terms of public education, prevention, investigation, and prosecution. 4 pillars in one. Most countries have divided these things to different institutions. That does not include asset declaration and management. It does not include asset recovery and all other things that I don't believe that is enough to man a country like this to fight corruption. And we believe, working with the government, we should improve on this so that we have more people who can man the country when it comes to fighting corruption, addressing issues of corruption. We also have a challenge with corruption. And the primary concern among all MPs was really laundering the image of the country. Because at that time, we were deemed to be one of the most corrupt countries in the world. So my mandate that came from the president with the support of all of you was really how corruption prevalence was 70% at that time. We were considered too corrupt. 49% by every measure was a failure. Within these 5 years, not only have we passed that index every year back to back for 5 complete years, we have passed by over 70%. We have passed by over 70%, and we now sit at 79%. So there are many indexes. So basically what I was trying to say is that has helped launder the image of the country, and we are now considered as one of the high performers in Africa. And of course, that has brought a lot of good for the country. We are no longer seen as the most corrupt country in the world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. Mr. Commissioner, I must confess that when you were first appointed, 90% of Sierraleoneans looked at you as somebody that did not succeed because of your age, but not principally because of the type of system we are operating at that time.
Are you saying 90%?
Yes, sir.
No,
so a lot of people thought
that percentage number is too large.
A lot of people thought that because one of your age and because of the system we are operating at that time, you will not be able to control corruption in this country. But mercifully, I want to say thank you to you and your team. You've been able to give us all of those accolades you are talking about. That was very good. And I want to say thank you. Please continue. And the other thing I want you to know, and everybody in this room, is that when you're a public figure, you are almost a pace setter in the society. I can tell you for free, you have to double up and set more pace because a lot of people want to be like you. Let me tell you this. I will give you a typical example. A lot of young lawyers now are keeping their ears because they want to be like Ben. So there are a lot of things we have to do to make sure that when you are a public servant, you set a very good pace. Lastly, Mr. Commissioner, sometimes when you are filling those forms or when you are coming before this Parliament, there are a lot of records you have to check before you come. Last year, I was the chairman of the appropriation committee that investigated anti-corruption. And when you said you only have, how many vehicles you said you have?
I don't have a personal.
No, the commission.
Yeah, about 7 functioning vehicles.
Then please tell your commissioners to look at their documents when they are preparing before us. Because
Honorable, let's keep this document and we'll look at this document in tandem with the next document that will be presented to this Parliament.
No, this document is his personal
document. Let's keep these records that have been told by the commission.
Okay, fine. So please, when you are coming next time, tell them to look at those documents. No, let me use my word. Let me address it. In concurrence with the ones you've already supplied. Otherwise, as Commissioner of Anti-Corruption, you will one day get your commission into trouble. And I don't pray for that, and I hope that will not happen.
The commission was in trouble.
Because a very decent gentleman, as Commissioner of Anti-Corruption, I can bet my bottom dollar.
Please don't.
That you are above corruption in this country.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'm finished. And I cannot withdraw.
You've gone overboard. And there's no recordings. There's no.
Which one? This one.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, thank you very much for this chance. Mr. Ben Kefala, sir, your contribution for Sierra Leone to score about 82% or so at MCC, which is giving for us a huge compact benefits by October, all things being equal. I must tell you that the work at ACC contributed a lot. Thank you for that, number one. Number two, much have shared Sierra Leone's experience with other countries in the fight against corruption. Meticulously looking at your current acts, what do you consider to be lacunas? What do you consider to be obsolete? And how can this parliament help you most of?
Thank you very much. First, I must thank the Parliament because in 2019, exactly on that question, I was here again for us to amend the 2008 Anti-Corruption Act. And graciously, Parliament worked with us and we were able to amend. And we were able to solve a lot of issues that had arisen in the 2008 Act. Yes, but it happened. And at the end of the day, that act now is considered as the most significant blueprint of tackling corruption in Africa. We are receiving requests from everywhere in the world to use it as a blueprint because of the kinds of reforms that the 2019 amendment gave, which I must say we stand to you. As it stands now, there are a few things that we need to deal with. One of them is really whistleblowing. The whole idea of whistleblowing is not well captured in our Anti-Corruption Act. So we are now working on the statutory instrument, which we are going to bring to Parliament again for review, which captures how we deal with issues of whistleblowers, witness protection, in line with certain other protocols that exist. For example, in ECOWAS, we have an entire protocol on whistleblowing that we want to now incorporate and use. But we do not want to bring an entire amendment to that because it can be dealt with at policy level. Then we realized that there was something which at that time we thought was insignificant, but became very significant when it came to our ability to function independently. That is the reservation of the Attorney General to issue trial by judge alone orders. That reservation is still with the Attorney General. We'll go to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General will give us 100% to say this case should be tried by judge alone. And we have never had issues with it until we came in 2019 for that amendment. But just after we had the amendment, we ran into trouble with the then Attorney General, who refused to sign the trial by judge alone application we placed before her to try the former Minister of Labour, Honorable Thibault. And that threw that case into chaos, and we have not been able to find solutions for it.
With all of these challenges and opportunities, please, when you take over, approach Parliament so we can
100%. I want us to work on this.
No, please. Okay, sorry. No.
Thank you so much. What's all being said on the fight against corruption? In your view, and candidly, and probably few words, what's the status of corruption in Sierra Leone as we speak? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable, for that question. Well, what we can say is, particularly in the 5 years when I have been leading the fight against corruption, with mandate provided from the President and our Parliament, we have done a lot to control corruption. Because as you know, corruption, the aim behind fighting corruption is to control it. Corruption has never been eradicated anywhere in the world because it's part of human nature to be corrupt. But it's about what people do about it. So what has happened in these 5 years is conscientiously together, we have been able to put a lot of systems in place, prevention measures, and also back it up with enforcement that has helped control corruption. So for example, when Afrobarometer says corruption prevalence has reduced from 70% to 40%, it is basically saying, yes, corruption is still there, but you've done something about it that has brought it down. When MCC score on corruption says you were 49%, now you are 83% or 79%, they are basically saying you have put systems in place that has improved the environment in the country for corruption prevalence to be reduced. So, we are not out of the woods. We definitely are not out of the woods with the fight against corruption, and we need to do more. We need to double our efforts in fighting corruption. However, a lot has been done to control it in terms of raising awareness about it. One thing we've done very heavily in these 5 years was a kind of awareness raising campaign that happened to recruit the citizens to understand what corruption is and to be involved with it, but also for public officers to understand that this insidious thing called corruption cannot continue. So public education has been revamped. Of course, we have been doing a lot of enforcement. You know about the Scorpion Squad, innovative ways of just keeping people psychologically engaged, but also setting examples where we can. And we have backed it up with powerful prevention measures, systems and processes review. We even did one with Parliament, where we came and checked the systems of Parliament, brought to their attention the things that were there were corruption leaks, and Parliament worked with us for us to put systems. And I was not surprised when 2 years later, Parliament was ranked as the second most transparent Parliament in the entire Africa. These are the kinds of things we have been doing for institutions and it's necessary.
Madam, we also give the meetings and we will pass.
Thank you very much.
No.
I'm not allowed to talk in the way, so no, you will talk.
Yes, sir. I think 4 or more years, I made a statement in that way during my presentation. And I invoke the SO2 by saying in payment that Olol Kerololi. And I want to say, in making that statement,
What is that?
in making that statement, listen, I'm going on.
First of all, we need to know the statement.
But listen to me, do you want to give me a chance?
No,
I will
you are
explain.
invoking SO2. You want to understand the SO2.
The last time when I invoked that SO2, and they asked me, and I interpreted that one. Oh Lord, Kerololi in Pemne means is small but ripe. Meaning.
Point of order. Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Tawa, I know you speak Stevie, right? I don't have any. I'm not satisfied with that definition. It's correct. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, my brother. And in fact, I want to say, people bet for me that I was a Pimney, and people bet, and somebody won 100,000 euros for that because they were arguing, and I was called upon. I said, I am not a Pimney, I am a Mendy Shabro. So that man gained that money. And I meant what I said, because I told you I did not envy that position. And it's an envious position again. I do not envy it because it's an envious position. But you prove us right. And you did very well in that light. And I was so proud, and even as at now, I'm proud of you. When I heard of your reappointment, I know you are going to do more. But in talking about your sensitization, for the benefit of Joe Van Boy who is there in the village, I just want you to give a simple definition of corruption. Because some people are saying corruption is this, corruption is that. But for the interest of Joe Van Boy, he might want to know, because there is a goal left me, that is not corruption. Please, for their own benefits. Can you just tell the public the definition of corruption? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Corruption is one of those things which is difficult to curb. That is why even in legislations, particularly in Parliament here, when the issue came before you, you prefer not to define corruption, but rather describe what amounts to it. But I would say the easiest way to understand.
So you have to attempt to define corruption.
Yes, I'm going to attempt. Okay. So I would rather say corruption is the abuse of entrusted power and resources for personal gain.
Thank you. Take note on that.
Can you, Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Chair, can you give us the source of that definition?
That's the own source.
It is my own
because I know that corruption varies from one point to another.
Yes. But all of them will contain this element that I'm giving. Every time you say the corruption has been good, one, there has to be entrusted power of resources to you, which means it is not your own. Then you now use it for personal gain. Personal gain is that position.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner, you have the floor.
Yes, I do.
Can you go to question 4 and explain to us what that means? And for what purpose?
Debtors, namely government of Sierra Leone.
Yes, sir.
It's my end of term benefit for the first term, sir.
Okay. You have not been paid yet?
I have not been paid.
Okay.
So it's now a debt of the government of Sierra Leone.
Okay. Question 5.
Yes.
Loan and advances. You don't need to call the figure.
Yes.
So how do we know that this advance or loan is in existence when you do not present your statement of account?
I can present it. I can present it because I've identified the bank and I've stated clearly the amount.
How can you also verify question 1 that these are amounts or your balances when you did not present your statement?
I can provide all of them. I think the chairman had asked and I confirmed. I apologize and said I will make it.
If you don't provide them, we will not present it to them.
Thank you, sir.
Please.
I will provide copies.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
The Honorable from Kaila, the Parliamentary from Kaila, can you please?
Thank you very much,
No.
Mr. Chairman.
The Parliamentary from Kaila, please.
Thank you very much.
You are Lolo, I'm not going to allow you to ask questions.
For me, I just want to reaffirm my position. Anti-corruption. That's anti-corruption under your leadership is working. And anti-corruption again under your second term leadership is going to work more. I congratulate you. I wish you well. Thank you, sir.
Honorable members, for obvious reasons, Honorable Lolo and the Parliamentary from so you know. Mr. Commissioner, my advice is to please bring your bank statements. The bank statement that have this point.
Yes.
And make sure you present it to the office of the clerk's office before the end of yes, before the end of the day.
Immediately after.
Yes, if you don't, then we will not present it to the office. Yeah, I wish to help.
Thank you very
You
much.
can go.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, committee, and thank you for members.
Bring us the Deputy Minister of Sports.
Hello. Congratulations.
Deputy Minister of Sports.